So, hello guys, we are gonna relive one of the best matches of last season. One of the games that left the world really convinced that there is a team of aliens in the world which is playing football above everyone. So there's a video that I'm gonna play to you. I want you guys to listen to what these guys are talking about. Then when I come back, I'm gonna analyze the whole entire thing in the way I understand, in the way I know how to do how. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's get into the video. Click like button and subscribe to the connect. Let's get into it.
Beautiful. It was honestly, I think it was one of the most perfectly played matches by a team I've ever seen in my life.
It felt historical. There was something about it where I'm like, oh wow, there's something happening here. I think I was watching Champions Club, which you did an incredible job on. There was a heat map shown of John Stones where I believe the darkest part was on top of the box in the offensive half. I'm like, geez, I mean, City were just incredible.
This is as close as you get to perfection in the game of football. It is so difficult to have all 11 players be in sync and carry out a game plan from minute 1 to minute 90 against the defending champions, the biggest club in the world. Manchester City and Pep Guardiola are by far head and shoulders above everyone else. And we got to witness them in person playing against Arsenal. This was a clash for the top of the Premier League title.
Did it make you feel a little better about that game? You're like, all right. Well, I don't feel as much shame as I did before as an Arsenal supporter.
As they would say, he is him. When you watched Manchester City live, you know why they're at the top of the table, why they're considered the best, because of the way that they interchange, the runs, the idea. They basically just mentally just put you into a nutshell because you can't get out. You feel like, man, they are so much better than us, and the body language, everything oozes confidence that you just feel like the only way we're beating them is by a miracle.
They made Real Madrid look unrecognizable yesterday. Real Madrid was very poor. And I don't need an apology from Alexis, but what I do need you to do is dial back the comments from last week that you said that Ancelotti put on a masterclass against Guardiola in the first leg. But you know why?
If I compare it to this, it's not a... No, you're right.
No.
If you compare it to this, it's not a masterclass.
It's not comparing.
No.
This is a masterclass. A
100%.
1-1 draw at the Bernabeu is not a masterclass.
He's coming at you with the hammer
right
now.
You know what a masterclass is? And you said, yesterday you said, he might have tweaked some positions. John Stones stepping out at a center back. Not many people in the history of football have had the audacity to take out a center back, put him into the midfield, essentially roaming. Yesterday he played a box-to-box center back.
Right now, by the way?
I'm just letting you know that.
You're drooling a little bit. I don't know if you know.
He might be preaching.
Because Stones was able to step out, Gundogan played with more freedom. Gundogan was able to get the wingers active, try to play Haaland in, Kevin De Bruyne as well. It was the perfect dance, in sync.
My points from yesterday still stand.
Masterclass. And that's why I don't need an apology from yesterday. I don't need an apology from yesterday because everybody has their own opinions and we can bicker, we can debate.
We sure can.
Right?
Yes.
But
we'll get into it.
So, we witnessed one of the most amazing games in football history that I've never seen before. Remember, people keep talking about the France versus Argentina game which was played in the World Cup final. Yes, it could be the best World Cup final that has ever been played. But what we witnessed with Pep Guardiola's Manchester City when they were beating Real Madrid was out of this world. I've never seen a team in my life outclass Real Madrid, make Real Madrid look like they're not even football players. I've never seen a team that can school Real Madrid in football in the Champions League until Pep Guardiola and Manchester City did this. What we saw was out of this world. I remember one of the people who were talking in Golazo, we were listening, they talked about, they were looking at the heat map of John Stone. John Stone looked like he was playing as a midfielder. Remember, this is one thing that people have to understand. Kyle Walker was at right back. John Stone was the defender next to Kyle Walker. He was inverting from a defender's position into the midfielder. He played a box-to-box midfielder. So somebody said that. I have never seen it in football. Talk about perfection. Talk about absolutely perfection. What Pep Guardiola did, I don't think there's anybody in this world who will ever go back to that game and say that there is any chance of beating a Manchester City side when they are really on the go, when they are connected, when they are working for a goal that they want to achieve. With Pep Guardiola as the brain. Because what he did with Man City, trust me, I've never seen it with this one. They talked about what other people thought Ancelotti, the masterclass, or had outplayed Pep Guardiola. He had provided what we call a masterclass out of Pep Guardiola's City side at Santiago Bernabeu. Then we come back to now. What we saw in the City game at the Etihad. I don't think there's anyone who has ever seen football played that way. I felt like it's very wrong for anyone to say that football can be played in that way. Because if it was a masterclass, this surpassed it. Because I've never seen a team so in sync, like what he was saying, that they can play together a perfect plan that has been set by a manager into perfection and show it into the pitch and just outclassed and outnumbered and left everyone speechless in the game until we watched that game. What Pep Guardiola and City did then, trust me, it will be talked about in years and years to come. They also talked about mentality. Manchester City proved something. They have the ability to put people into what we call a mental prison while on the pitch. Real Madrid were put in what we call a mental prison that they just felt outclassed. They were they were just no longer in the game. They didn't even know what was happening. So people might talk about how the final was boring. The final was played at the Etihad, where Manchester City faced Real Madrid. That's where the final of the Champions League was played. The rest that happened after that, it was something else. Football was played and finished in Manchester City. What we saw from Pep Guardiola, we'll never see it again in football history. Maybe we will. He will create something more than this. But what we have already seen, because people are forgetting, maybe because it's the transfer window, people are running around with the transfers. City are a monster that beat Real Madrid 4-0 and made Benzema, Vini Jr., one of the best team in the world, look like they were not even a football team. This was the same team that beat Liverpool 5-2 just 2 weeks back before that game. But they were just not in the game. They did not even know what they were doing in the ground. Vini was put in, he was KO'd by Kyle Walker into the game. He was put on what we call a spliff. That's what the expression say. He was put on a spliff. He looked like he did not even know what football is. Remember that even though they've lost Ilkay Gundogan in the transfer, that team is still there. It's still breathing. It can still rise. Just wanted to give you a warning that you talk about how Arsenal are strengthening, how they're going to look so good. I want to remind you that Manchester City did that to Real Madrid. They did the same thing to Arsenal. One Arsenal fan even said it here. But they felt better after they saw Madrid being walloped and embarrassed. Hold that. Because that's what you think you're going to be outplaying next season when you are doing your transfers as a team or what. This is what you want to overcome so that you win the league. There'll be a part 2 to this one because there is another clip that I'm going to put on here. And remember, I told you I want to show you a video where they were talking about the intelligence of Kevin De Bruyne. I want to share some thoughts on that, so you should really be watching. Do me a favor, click that like button, subscribe to the Connect, the best way you support the Connect. But I want you to remember what Pep Guardiola did. A perfect masterclass. I'm out. We'll be back again with another one.
Beats the goalkeeper. He's just lost for words. He is just brilliant. Georgie Best, Diego Maradona, Johan